Slow your post a little. Feel the reins a little more. That's it. Yes, she does, a little bit. Looks much better with those on.
What's that?
Looks much better with those on. Yeah. Okay, so come on over here.
It's hard in the wind in my ear to hear you.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm going to get off here in a second. I was just sitting in the shade while you were warming up.
Okay.
But, so you got to have a little more connection to the mouth.
Okay.
Like you can't come in, because you're coming out of the turn, putting a loop in the rein. She's falling on her forehand, then you're jumping the jump and throwing these tragically big loops up in, like you're jumping a 6-foot oxer.
Yeah.
So that's all exaggeration for the hunt ring that won't be appropriate at an event.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not, it's not going to be 6 down the long side, turn across the middle. It's going to be some kind of a course that you have to land and turn and go to something else, right?
Yeah.
And the same thing with the cross-country fences. You don't want to be throwing your whole body out in front of the pommel over a cross-country fence, right? Like over that cross trail, your whole body was in front of the pommel. Okay, you don't want to land on a downhill descending line like that. You'll go right over the head. Okay, and the last time I was jumping, you weren't being so exaggerated with all that stuff, right? So you probably just did a couple 100 rounds, and they were like, "Show off your horse, like throw your hands up the neck, lie on their neck," right?
That's always been a problem for me.
Yeah. So you need to stay over your feet.
Yeah.
You need to have a feel of the mouth so you can connect the hind legs to the mouth, and not have her just out there floating somewhere on her forehand. Because when she floats her neck out like that and hollows the base of her neck, all of her weight is on her front feet, which is why her front feet are sore. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So...
well, I just took him on a trail ride. It was actually really rocky, which I was like...
Again, front feet sore,
yeah.
right? Particularly with no shoes on, right? So, and then, you know, no shoes is great if you're always on grass. But what do they make sandpaper out of? Sand. So when you ride on sand, what happens to their feet? Wears the feet right off them. Yeah. So no shoes is great when you're working on grass with good footing under it. But you start working on other surfaces, they get footsore very fast. Yeah. So just something to keep in mind. But so you never want her to sort of just travel around on her front feet. So when you throw the reins at her, she hollows the base of her neck and she trots around on her front feet, which is going to make her front feet sore. Okay. So you want a little bit more hind end, and to do that, you have to connect the bit to the hind legs a little bit. So you have to let your hips come to your hand. Let there be a little bit of weight in the rein. Yeah. Let there be a little feel of the mouth in your fingers, because you got to do that. Like, how are you going to ride a dressage test without that? Right? Like, to go do a 3-phase, you have to ride a dressage test. So you have to have her connected to the rein. Right? So you got to start putting her together a little bit more like that if you're going to do a 3-phase. Like, if you're going to do low hunters, then you can sort of get away with that. Even though if she uses her hind legs more in the hunter round, she'll score better because she'll look more fluent. Yeah. Right? And she'll look rounder. Yeah. Right? So the unround is a collapse of the balance. Right? So she does this so she doesn't have to lift the shoulder and bring the hind feet under. So she needs to be connected to the rein a little more to push the feet through a little bit to the contact, right? So just pick her up, have her a little bit more on the connection, and close your leg a little more and push her through your hand a little bit. So the hind feet are connected to the nose, right? Yeah. So that she's not two separate pieces. Because the two separate pieces is punishing to her body. Yeah. It's all forehand, right? You want her off her forehand so her hind legs carry more weight so she doesn't punish her front feet so much. Yeah. So off you go. Yeah, just have a little trot canter around and then pup the cross trail again. So shorten your reins. Now, bring your hands down and together. Down and together. There. Now, kick her. And don't let go of the reins. Just feel the reins. Just feel the reins. And kick her into the reins. Go on, Mare. Go find the contact. You don't have to pull, just let the weight of your arm hang on her mouth. Him. And then kick to it. It's been mares all day, sorry. Yeah. Turn your toes out, give her a little kick. Relax your knees. There. Give him a kick. There you go. And then just let your elbows just hang on the rein a little bit. There. And then make him go. Yeah. Yeah. Turn your toe out. Don't bring your heel up. There. Good. Now roll your spur in and kick. Yeah, don't bring your heel up, don't swing your feet. Kick directly into his side. So your leg doesn't swing at all when you use it. There you go, much better. Feel how your balance stays stronger then? And then bring your hip to your hand, turn your toes out and tap your spurs in. Tap your spurs in. There you go. So your heel doesn't come up, your leg doesn't swing. You just turn your toe out right in place and use your leg right where your leg is. There. Nope, don't push on the stirrup. Don't bend your knee. There, like that. Just move your ankles directly towards each other. Yeah, so your knees actually open a little to do that. Ah, like that. There you go, bow-legged cowboy. There, bow-legged cowboy. I actually had a Grand Prix dressage rider tell me to ride like a bow-legged cowboy. There, turn your toe out, roll your ankles in. There, bingo, he went forward. To the rein. Now steer with your fingers. Steer. Steer the circle. Turn his nose where he's going. Push him off your inside leg. There you go. There's a better balance. There's him. There you could ride a dressage test. Right there. So show jumping and dressage are the same. Right? So when he's going to do a show jumping round, he should be just like he's going to be in a dressage test. He should be steerable, bendable, rideable, not don't touch me. Yeah, super. Now change rein, go the other way. Ankles in, knees soft, tummy up, hips to hands. Feel the contact, steer the bit rings. With your fingers, steer the bit rings. Make him go to the outside rein. Keep him off your, there you go. There you go. Much more broke. Yeah, there. So when you go to the big classes and you look in the ring, those horses are on the aids, right? Yeah, they're on the bit, they're around the leg, they're in a rhythm. That's it. There, super. Super. And canter. And sit up and quiet your body. Instead of swinging your shoulders, bring your shoulders back and be quiet with your body. And then steer with your fingers. Steer. Yeah, there you go. And then inside leg and quiet the swing in your body. Quiet the swing. Sit in the sweet spot and don't come out of it. Right? Like lift your chest, put your shoulders back, sit down into your butt. There you go. So it feels like you and the horse are one thing instead of you on top of the horse rowing crew. Right? Sit. Now squeeze your outside rein. Tell him to slow down. Don't swing more when you do that. That's a driving aid. Yeah. There. Super. Go the other way. Have a canter. Put your inside heel down, put your outside leg back, canter. Don't lean forward and run. Just outside leg canter. Put your knee down. Push your inside knee down. You're coming up out of your stirrup. Right? So, whoa. Inside leg at the girth, outside leg back, outside leg canter. You don't need to do anything with your inside leg. There. Got to steer though. So he won't go to canter unless you throw the reins away, right? So that's got to be fixed. Yeah, there. That's it, and steer now, steer. Sit on the saddle, sit up and steer. There, now push his feet up under him. There, now squeeze your outside rein so he stays there. Then push his feet up under him again. Then squeeze your outside rein so he stays there. There you go. Now push his feet up under him again. Now squeeze your outside rein so he stays there. So he doesn't tank on your hand. Push his feet up under him again. Squeeze your outside rein so he stays there. Yeah. So he doesn't tank on the rein, right? Yeah, there you go. Now go down your long side, come back, jump the cross rail. Put your inside heel down, sit up to your outside rein. Slow your post and post bigger and slower. Yep, whoa. Lift your hip forward. There you go. Good. So don't pull when he takes off. Just let your hand relax. Good, right? And then go trot it this time. Slow down. Whoa. And trot right up to it till he runs out of room and leaves the ground. Lift your hip forward, drop into your feet. Just trot right until he runs out of room. There you go. Good. Now do it again. This time when he jumps, your hand follows his mouth. So don't throw the reins away, but learn how to give a release, which is following the mouth in the air. So you don't pull when he takes off. There. Now kick him away a little bit. And come in and trot that again. So he's going to have to land going instead of land stopping. So he's going to have to land going somewhere, not stopping. So close your leg. See, that's landing. So he was completely halted on landing there. So you've got to look up and close your leg and land going somewhere, not land stopping. Because he wouldn't get to the next fence if he was in a line. And go, 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 go. Better. See how that offended him? Go do it again and make him canter that circle after the crossrail. So it's not to offend him to go forward. Yeah. And close your leg to your rein. Press him to it. Now go away from the fence. Go on, close your leg. Tickle him with the spur. Go on, son. Be somebody. There you go. Now go right to your fence like that. Lift your hip. Drop your feet down around him. Go towards the fence. Best jump today, except you didn't give your hand in the air. And walk for a second. So that was much better right there. He was going somewhere over the fence. Right? So yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, right? He's behind the leg. Yeah, right? So one of the things you're going to encounter when you're in more of a show jumping situation and not a hunter situation is pitter, patter, pop will kill you. Because you'll never make your next distance. You've got to come in with a rhythm and leave with a rhythm so that you can get to your next fence. So like if we were jumping that and that was like vertical and then you had to turn and get to that, right there on the bending line, you'd have to land going somewhere, right? So he can't land halted, right? He's too good at that, right? He's got to land going somewhere, right? All right, so to facilitate that, go get a trot into your crossrail, one stride out over your oxer. Lower your elbows. There. There. There you go. A little inside leg. He's leaning right. Turn his nose a little right. Lift him into your left rein. And then kick him through with your outside leg. There you go. Go on. Go on. Go on. So the next time he quicks at a fence like that, you kick him with your spurs, okay? Because that can't happen. So feel the rein, because there you're running him on his forehand. Right, now make a circle, feel the rein and steer, and push him up under the rein. Go on, he's got to have hind legs. Hind legs. Hind legs. Kick him with the spur. Kick him. There, without dropping the contact. There, that's better. Do another circle and kick him with your leg a little bit. Say, come on, get your butt in gear. There you go. Come on, use your hind legs, brother. There you go. That's much better. Now, when you go down the line, look out past the last fence and kick to where you're looking. Don't come in thinking steady, think go. There, look out past the second fence and ride there. Good, come around again. Now kick. Hey, now feel the rein. There you go. Good. Then back to trot. And trot in. There you go, that's better. Now turn your toes out, press. There you go. Super. Now make a big circle and come over the vertical towards me. Big circle once to get your canter. Close your leg up to the rein. Feel the bit a little bit and steer. There you go. And close your leg again. A little kick up. There. Yeah, he's got to let you steer. Lower your hands. Lower your hands. There. Now turn your toes out and press towards the fence. There, good. Keep coming. Come over the oxer. Roll your ankles in. Lift your hips forward to the rein. Lower your hands. Lower your hands. There. Now close your leg up to the outside rein and lift your hips forward. Turn your toes out and press. Yeah. So the ad killed you. So the ad got you under the rail and cost you 4. You should have left it out. So that's why, like, putting 2 strides in an 18-foot trot in is not good, right? That should be 1 and done, right? So he's got to open his stride and go get the range of motion more so that he can get in and out of distances easier. So, right canter again, in over that, out over the oxer again. This time try to ride up to the jump a little more so he has a little more power in the back end so he doesn't have to chip at the base. Right? There, shorten your reins a little and steer. Lower your hands and kick him up to the rein. Come on, more hind legs. He's cantering with his hind legs together. He needs to split them. So kick him. There you go, kick him so he splits his legs. There, like that. So he has an inside hind. And then ride up to your hand. Better. Now gallop a little. Good. Now sit up as you gallop. Now slow your shoulders down, but keep the stride. Slow your shoulders down, but keep coming. Keep coming. Yes, so much better. There you go. Keep coming to the vertical now. He's got to split his hind legs and have a 3-beat canter, not move his hind legs together. And then push up to your hand. There you go. Super. And kick, give a little kick when you got no fence in sight. And then sit up and slow your body down. So he learns how to canter forward without going too fast. Lift your hip forward, close your leg. Awesome. Now that time the deep spot came up natural, so that was fine. One more time over the vertical and the oxer, where you ride the canter up into the rein a little bit and let him have a forward balance. Stretch your tummy up to your hand, just a little press up from your leg. There it is. Awesome. So much more scope when he has more canter. He's not a stuffy little guy when you give him that scope. He all of a sudden can get over a bigger fence. Stretch up to your outside rein. Keep his hocks rolling up to your hand. That's not a whoops. Walk and pat him. So that wasn't a whoops. That was actually an awesome takeoff. Because when you get deep like that, he has to snap his knees up. So that was actually cool because you went forward to a deep spot instead of backwards to a deep spot where they chip and take the rail. Yeah. That time you rode forward to a deep spot and boy did he snap his knees up, right? Yeah, because he can when he has that much more hind end involved, right? So all of a sudden you're not top-ended with your jump height because you've got so much more hind end involved and that gives him so much more lift off the ground. When he canters with his hind legs together like that, like Pepe Le Pew, okay, he's got no power, no lift, no ability to get himself off the ground. So that's pitter, patter, pop, right? But if you want to get over a little bit bigger fence and get those related distances and get out on a cross-country course and have a little roll, he's got to have that roll up to the bridle because that gives him his power, his ability to lift off the ground. Like this horse weighs about 1,100 pounds probably, right? Somewhere in that space. So he's got to have a little bit of hind end to get that much weight off the ground, right? Yeah, yeah. So that's just physics, right? That's why it takes all that power when you launch a rocket into space, because they got to get off the ground, right? Yeah. So when you give him that little bit more rotation behind, all of a sudden, there was a couple times over that vertical where he really like brought his wither up, because you came in up to the rein more, so he had more hind end, so he could roll off the ground much bigger, right? Yeah.
I don't think we've practiced a lot of like having him in my hand to the jumps, so that's why I think he's stuck with that.
Right. So now you're just telling him, no, when I put a little rein to your mouth, go towards the reins. Yeah. Now, a lot of times I have the other problem with horses, like horses are too much on the rein, need to be backed off, right? He needs to be convinced to go there, right? So you say, go on, get up in the rein. And then that's a little bit why you're not used to sort of just letting this happen over the fence, right? So what you can do a little bit is, so you don't go back to the extravagant release, is do what we used to call a crest release. Push your knuckles to the neck, right? And then you won't go too far. Then you won't overdo it and throw your hands and body up the neck. It's just that like old-fashioned George Morris crest release, right? Boom, like that, right? And that'll give him his freedom in his neck without overdoing it and throwing your body forward. We all had to practice that when I was like 8. Right? That old-fashioned crest release. Yeah, right. Like, yeah. But it's useful because it gives you something to do while you're figuring out how to let his mouth be in the rein up to the jump. Okay, so this time we're going to go off the right over the brush fence again, back to the oxer again, because that's just a lovely way to come to each fence off a different lead. Then off the oxer, you're going to go out around the sails and do this fence straight away to that one. Oh yeah, could you make that level? No, put the other side up. No, at the same height it's at. Yeah, not higher. Yeah. There. Yeah, it's right on the white there, yeah. Yeah, there you go. So the vertical to the oxer to the direct line. A little kick. Heels down, toes out to kick, not heels up. And then lift your hip a little forward. Turn your toes a little out. Yes, just like that with your hands. See what it did? Yep. You gave him the freedom to use his neck there. That's a good canter. Keep going towards the fence with that canter. Yep, just like that with your hands. Then you don't throw your body. Get your lead behind. There you go. And then just come around, line the two fences up, ride, lower your hands a little, lower your hands. Then ride towards the second one, lower your hands. Good girl. So I think that's what you want to do with your hands in the air right now, because that works good, because then you don't throw your body too much, but your hands give. See what I'm saying? So when you do that crest release, you're pushing your hands down, but your body's staying kind of like this instead of over rotating. Yep, so you're in a good spot landing then when you use that release. See, but it also gives the horse enough freedom in the air to figure out how to really use his head and neck in the air. Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, stick that back on. That's really helped. Yeah. So if you ride in those regularly, put a little slippery stuff on his heels, because they rub. So like if you put like a little Corona on his heels or something, then they won't rub his heels. Yeah. Because otherwise they chafe a little like a tight shoe on your feet. Yeah. So how'd that last round feel?
It felt a lot better.
Yeah.
Like he was taking me to the jump.
Yes.
And he wasn't resisting my hand.
Yes. Much better. So you got a little bit more on board, right? Yeah. So I really love when I come out of the turn and the horse says, "You coming?" instead of "You sure?" Yeah. Right? Yeah. Like, I'd much rather have them say, "You coming?" Yeah. Right? And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm coming." Yeah, right? Instead of, "Are you sure?" "Yes, get over the goddamn fence." Yeah, right? Like